Afternoon, and thank you all for joining us for this news conference today. And thanks once again to Margie Prop for providing her interpretation services. Last week, Lincoln hosted 4 law enforcement professionals interested in serving as the next chief of the Lincoln Police Department. And we were able to attract an excellent field of candidates, all of whom were highly regarded and well qualified for the position. I'm deeply grateful to the many individuals who played a role in hosting the candidates each day and to the members of our community who engaged with our administration throughout the search process. Our public engagement efforts clarified the priorities and expectations that our community has for any individual serving as the Lincoln Police Chief. Our goal was to identify a police chief who best meets the unique needs of Lincoln's vibrant, diverse, and growing community. The chief role in particular requires a deep understanding of our community-based policing model, the ability to forge meaningful relationships, and excellent communication skills. I am pleased to announce today that I have selected Teresa Ewens to fill that role. Teresa most vividly demonstrated a commitment to the broad themes we identified during our search process as priorities for the next police chief: a commitment to community policing, support for our officers and the department, a focus on diversity and equity both within the force and in the community, and an unwavering dedication to transparency and accountability. And during her visit to Lincoln last week, Teresa articulated a vision that connected with stakeholders in the search process. I heard from street officers, command staff, and community members, all who expressed their belief that she is the right leader for the Lincoln Police Department. She shares our priority of seeking continuous improvement while celebrating the excellent work of the team at LPD. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce the next chief of the Lincoln Police Department, Teresa Ewens. Over to you on Zoom, Teresa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate this opportunity. And I have to thank City Council, LPD, the community, your hiring committee. It is absolutely an honor to be here with you and being chosen to lead this department. And I'm excited to get started.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Teresa. We are so eager for you to get started as well. I'm excited to work with you to serve all of our community members and families. And I also want to acknowledge the work of Acting Chief Brian Jackson and thank him for his service leading LPD during this interim period. And I look forward to continuing to work with him and the rest of the team at LPD during the next 2 months before Teresa takes on the role of chief on a permanent basis. The next step in this process will be approval by the City Council of my selection, and we are coordinating the introduction of my nomination with Chief Nominee Ewens to ensure that she can be here in person for the public hearing. And with that, I would open this up for any questions from the media.
The department has only been led by men in 151 years. Can you speak to the historic importance of this moment to be naming Teresa as the next chief?
You know, thanks for that question, and thanks for pointing out that this is a historic choice. When we set out in this process, we were looking for the best person to lead the department, and we found the best person to lead the department. And she happens to be a woman, and I'm really proud of that. Any other questions?
What do the conversations look like with City Council? You're pretty confident this is a nomination that they will back and get through right away?
You know, I am very confident that this is going to be a smooth process going forward. We've had so much engagement with stakeholders throughout the process. That's from the public to the department staff, both the sworn officers and the civilian staff, to City Council members, to neighborhoods, to everyone that we could solicit input from during focus groups and listening sessions. We have really done the work to pave the way for a smooth process, and that's what I envision happening in the coming weeks.
Was there anything in particular that made Teresa stand out among the field of finalists?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to acknowledge we had a really strong field of finalists, and I think that's just such a strong testament to the strength of our department, the quality of the policing in Lincoln, Nebraska, and also to the growth of our community. This is a vibrant, growing, and dynamic city, and so we were able to attract really qualified candidates. Yet she rose to the top of those candidates, and she did that with her experience, her leadership, presence, and record, with her excellent communication skills and her humility. She talked about that in one of her first interviews. She talked about the importance that police officers have not only skills, good training, wonderful relationships with the community to produce safe outcomes, but also cultural humility. And I think all of those things together wove to propel her to the top in this process.
I have a question for Teresa, if I can. Can
Yes,
hear
she,
us? Okay.
yep.
I just wanted to ask you, obviously going to be probably, I think you mentioned 2 months maybe before that start date. Is there anything maybe that you're really looking forward to whenever you hit boots on the ground in Lincoln to get started with?
Well, first, I wish I was there with you guys. This is, the end of COVID and the video, hopefully communication. But, I really look forward to just getting to know Lincoln and LPD officers, command staff, and working with the community and seeing what they envision for the department moving forward. Because I think it's important that they, from the very beginning, I think I said this before, is that the very, very beginning that I'm speaking to them, I'm getting to understand them. So that would be the first and foremost thing that I'll do.
And you obviously endorsed it today. What were those conversations like whenever you talked to some of those members?
It was a great conversation, actually. They just wanted to know where I was coming from, how I viewed the union's role, as well as things like discipline and how we approach different things that will go on. It really is about communication and people feeling part of the solution, and they will have access to me just like everyone will have access, and we'll have open communication.
I have a question for the new chief from Dale at KFOR. Please describe how much you have been able to learn about LPD so far, how many of the staff you have met, and how you will go about getting settled into the job.
I think I heard how many people I'm sorry.
Repeat that if you want.
Okay, so I'm going to speak louder. Please describe
Thank you.
how much you have been able to learn about LPD so far, how many of the staff you have met, and how you will go about getting settled into the job.
Yeah, I met with the entire command staff. LPD did a great job really introducing me to a lot of different people. We had an open forum where I spoke, and it was recorded and it was sent to all the members. And so I was able to actually really understand really the quality of individuals that you have at LPD, the technology advancements that you've been doing for a number of years that I actually wasn't aware of. And that, that's huge when you talk about rolling into a position like this, is that data, technology, everything is so important for 21st century policing. And so, meeting with the command staff, they were great. I mean, you have people that really want to look at the challenges that are in policing now and want to move forward, and they welcome new ideas. And so that's really big for me coming in.
Any other questions? Going once? Going
I
twice?
guess, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for the chief, I mean, kind of the same questions earlier. You'll be the first woman to lead this department in 151 years. You're coming in from the outside, having spent your whole career in California. I guess, can you speak to the personal significance for you to be named the chief of this department?
Being the first is really, it's amazing. I mean, women are 50% of the population, and, in law enforcement for chiefs, there's, I think 1% are chiefs of police. I think women have really added to, moving the profession forward in general. And it's really great to be recognized as the best to take on this role. And so I'm really hoping to really show that women can lead and be just as good as anyone else. And hopefully one day in the future, we don't even have to have this conversation of male versus female. It's just the best person, the most qualified person.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Teresa, for your interest in this role. We are so proud to welcome you to Lincoln, and I can't wait to forward your nomination to the City Council. And I just want to say Lincoln's a great community that gets better every day, and I have great confidence that Teresa Ewens will continue the excellent work of the Lincoln Police Department and bring experience, skills, and wisdom that will benefit the City of Lincoln as a member of our leadership team. Thank you so much for tuning in.